Update: my ex divorced me and wants to be together again after 4 years. Original post: I'm 46 female and my ex-husband is 45. We were college sweethearts and married at 26. Right before we got married, I gave birth to a beautiful daughter who's now 21 years old. I love both of them dearly, and we've been a happy family for about 16 years before everything went down. Our only problem was my ex's mother. She always had a strong dislike for me as she never thought I was good enough for her baby boy. We had many fights, and my ex cut contact with her after the wedding when she tried wearing white to it. We had many encounters with her years after that, sending us gifts for my daughter and purposely trying to get us to contact her again, to seeing her outside our house. Then 4 years ago, I got home from work to see my ex and his mom together on the couch. My ex was on the verge of tears, yelling and calling me a cheater. I tried to explain I didn't, but his mother supposedly had proof, saying she saw me with another man out in a restaurant together. I'm very faithful and loyal, but he refused to hear me out. We got into a big argument before he packed up and left to stay with his mother. When my daughter got home from a friend's house, she too started blaming me when she found out from her dad. She went to live with her dad while he sent out divorce papers. It took about a year before it was finalized. He got custody of her and I was granted visitation rights, but she never wanted to see me. It took a long time to move on. I sought therapy and fell into a huge depression. I knew my ex's mother made it up to tear us apart, but I can't believe he listened to her so carelessly. I don't blame my daughter, but it still hurts. I moved out of the house to allow my ex and my daughter to live there. I ended up moving to a small apartment. It's been 4 years, and I started to finally be happy again. I made new friends, we had so much fun, and I got a promotion at work. I still missed my family, my daughter, but I couldn't do anything about it. Now 2 days ago, my daughter called me. It's been 4 years since I've last seen or heard from her. She said that my ex's mother admitted to lying. She said that my ex got a new girlfriend and his mother was furious, claiming he shouldn't have won after all the trouble she did to get rid of me. They got into a heated fight before he kicked his mom out. I nearly wanted to cry. I thought she would never admit it, and now I'm hearing it from my daughter. She asked to meet up and apologize so many times, and I told her we could meet tomorrow. So yesterday I met her at a restaurant, but she brought along my ex, something she never mentioned, nor have I agreed upon. He was apologizing, saying how much he missed me and that he dumped his girlfriend. He wanted us to be together again. I excused myself and left them there. I got back home to lots of phone calls from my daughter and text messages from her. She wanted us to talk, and she called me in a hole for leaving. I told her I wasn't comfortable and that she needed to understand. I had to mute my phone and put it down for a bit. I haven't responded yet, and I'm not sure what to do. I love her, but I can't talk to her with him there, not yet anyways. It feels so fast. I wanted to do it one-on-one. I'm deeply hurt and crying as I'm typing this. I don't know what to do. Edit. I appreciate the love and support. However, I didn't make it clear about my daughter's custody. Her opinion mattered in court since she was 17 during the divorce. Although the divorce was about me allegedly cheating, my ex and I agreed to keep that apart from the actual divorcing process, split what we needed to split, and let our daughter choose who she wants to be with. She wanted to live with her dad, and I agreed. She was strongly adamant about not seeing me, so I allowed my ex to have full custody, leaving me with visitations. Not only that, I needed to find an apartment. I had to move out of the house. I was living off couch to couch in my relatives' homes. I didn't have space for her, and my ex mentioned it in court. It was the main reason why she was granted to stay with her father. I was under stress, and I was not mentally well, so I signed off my rights. I looked like a mess in court too. There was also a lot more going on during the time. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. First of all, take all the time you need. You don't have to follow their timeline. It's perfectly alright to write back, "Please give me some time and space to work through everything. I'll contact you when I'm ready," and then mute them. You could also contact a therapist or a counselor to have an impartial person to talk to, or friends you know to be clear-headed. You don't have to go through this alone, and you don't have to react immediately. By the way, your daughter is stomping over your boundaries. She didn't tell you that your ex would be there, thus setting you up for an ambush. You might have chosen not to meet her had you known that your ex would be present. She withheld that information and took that choice away. You understandably left because you were overwhelmed, and she is calling you an a-hole and bombarding you with texts. Sorry, that behavior is unacceptable, regardless of her motivation. Both she and her ex seem to think that they can snap their fingers, and they can just start where everyone left off, with you immediately forgetting the past and the hurt you've endured. You should be your first priority, because they won't make you their first priority. So please take care and make sure that you make use of your support network. Please feel hugged, and I wish you all the best. I really appreciate seeing this. You're right. She crossed boundaries and done some pretty stupid decisions. Emotions are running high, and it may take a bit for things to calm down. I'm preparing a text to send to my daughter about going no contact, unless she apologizes and handles it like an adult. I'm willing to hear her side, but not her acting like a jerk or involving anyone besides herself. I also contacted my therapist, and I'll be seeing her on Wednesday. Until then, I probably won't have an update unless something happens within the messages. I'm still really heartbroken, and I'm scared about how she is going to react to my message. I have my friends and my parents who are on my side if anything happens. They don't know where I live anyway, so I know I'm safe and I can take my time. Lol, why are they acting as if they're doing you a favor or forgiving you for something you didn't do? And cool, let's go back together. Are they serious? The daughter calling her mother an a-hole for leaving, while she didn't even contacted her for 4 years or even try to hear her out, baffles me. Like WTF. Wait, your daughter called you an a-hole because you left after she brought your ex-husband with her without letting you know. She is the a-hole, and your ex too. He easily believed his mother lies after cutting contact with her and knowing what she's capable of. They are both bad for not hearing you out, treating you like you are the worst, and now trying to be all-loving family again. They caused you so much pain and probably trauma, but it seems like they don't care. Now for the first update. I'm crying again. I went to text my daughter about boundaries and building trust again, and she said there was someone else involved without my knowledge during the divorce. My ex's mother got into another fight over the phone with him earlier today and admitted to paying an ex-friend, someone she was fond of, to lie directly in my husband's face and say he was the one I cheated on with. He did it for money. My daughter basically gave me the silent treatment during the divorce, so she never told me. Neither did my ex's mom for obvious reasons. Now, why wouldn't my ex mention it? Because he thought I would just deny it, which I would since I didn't do it. I bet he was so confident in himself too. I hate them both. Like mother like son, apparently. I can't believe I loved him. He didn't even try to hear my side. I even tried giving my phone to prove my text messages were innocent, and he went, nope. I got a verbal confession from said ex-friend, but I won't tell you because communication does not exist. I am beyond furious. Who does that? Pay someone to purposely cause a strain in a healthy relationship. Absolutely ridiculous. I hope your daughter directs the anger she had for you at your mother-in-law. Unlikely, that anger has been directed at the mother all these years. Probably dissipated by now. Plus, the way grandmother's mere word was enough, there's an obvious bias in that direction. Take your time, it's okay. I would reach out to friends and family and spend your evening with people so you're not alone. They disappeared for 4 years, your daughter can wait 48 hours or a week for a response from you. I would strongly recommend if you want to arrange a meeting with your daughter, that the next meeting being an invitation to an appointment with a mediator or family therapist, with the condition that if she brings her dad to it, you will go no contact with her. It's a session for her and you only. And in the session, you can try and explain to her how far she crossed the line by ambushing you with her dad, and why this reconciliation will only work if she stays out of your romantic life, and accepts her parents are divorced because her dad messed up, and that's how it's going to stay. I'm sorry you're going through this. Definitely with a mediator in a neutral location. So sorry OP, that level of betrayal is utterly heartbreaking. Now for the second update. Hi. Within the past 2 days, a lot of stuff came out, and I'm beat. First of all, thank you for the support and advice. There were so many, but I decided to follow the ones I thought fit best for me and my daughter. In the last post, I mentioned in the comments about an update. 2 days ago, I texted my daughter to set some boundaries after the ambush attack at the restaurant. As we were talking, she mentioned new information about my ex and why he chose his mother's side over me. Earlier that morning, his mother confessed that she had paid an ex-friend of ours to lie directly in my ex-husband's face, claiming to be my affair partner. Mind you, I never had cheated in the first place, but my ex took that as solid evidence and divorced me because of it. His mother is a master manipulator and had him wrapped around her finger throughout his childhood, so I'm not surprised why he'd take her side. He didn't know that the confession was fake until a few days ago. I wasn't even aware of the entire thing for 4 years. No one had brought it up to me. My daughter gave me the silent treatment. My ex's mother obviously wouldn't tell a thing to me and probably told my ex-husband to keep quiet and to only focus on the divorce. I'm still really saddened, but everything makes sense. I was so mad at him for leaving me over her word, but it was much more than that. Besides that, I decided to give my daughter another chance. She will not know where I live or any personal information to indicate where I am. I'm keeping low contact on her. I don't want her spreading it to her father or other people. I'll only show up during important events. Graduation, weddings, etc. I know my ex-husband will also attend. If that's the case, then so be it. I requested my daughter to put her father on the phone. He, of course, apologized so many times and hoped we could have another chance as well. He said he'd do anything to make it up and that he loves me. I said no. I explained that I was keeping him no contact and that I was heartbroken when he didn't communicate to me about the cheating allegations and only assumed that I was practically homeless for a short time and needed to see a therapist to help move on, that I wanted to be left alone and currently not interested in another relationship. Then I gave him a new email in case of emergencies directly involving our daughter. Anything else I will discard. That was the only time I spoke to him in the past 2 days. I've been talking to my daughter, setting boundaries and whatnot. She gave small updates about what was going on with her side. They went no contact with my ex's mother, so that's good. I told her never to contact that woman again. She also apologized about her behavior at the restaurant and that it won't happen again. I understand that emotions were running high and everyone was tensed, so I forgave her. I still really love her. Mistakes can happen. Now, a lot of you said to sue my ex's mother. I spoke to my therapist about it earlier today, and she said it wasn't wise to do so. It'll put more emotional distress on me, and that I might have to see her again and may relapse into a depressive state. I really don't want that. I don't want anything to do with that woman again. All I want to do is focus on myself and on my daughter. I want to rebuild our relationship, and it will be ruined if I do something as drastic as suing my ex's mother. I won't be pressing charges unless something else happens to the point where police are involved. That would be different. Other than that, I'm taking a break. My daughter can text me anytime she wants, but I did say that I may not always reply since I want to remain low contact as of now. Thank you so much for the support and love. I can't express how grateful I am. I'm sorry I haven't replied to any of the comments. There was so much and it was very overwhelming. This may be my last ever post on this account unless something happens in the near future. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Best of luck to you, OP. I currently can't think of a word to describe how obnoxiously terrible what your ex's mom did to you was, followed by what your ex and daughter did to you after that. Just know that I think you are amazingly strong. Your ex-mother-in-law's bad karma is coming back around, and hopefully she'll get what she deserves even without you suing her. I truly hope you continue to improve your mental health and live happily ever after. I originally wasn't going to say anything, but I would now like to mention that my daughter texted me saying she found my original post through TikTok. I have a feeling she won't be turning against me a second time lol. She despises her gram now. You should grab a box, put milk and eggs in it, leave it outside for a week. Shake it hard, then mail it to his mom for her to open. Add fish and tomatoes too. Those are the 4 worst smelling items that spoil. I am very sorry for all that you have been through. You are handling this extremely well and setting boundaries to protect yourself. I just have to say, I wonder how this ex-friend lives with himself knowing he played such a huge role in ending your marriage. He's an addict. I'm 100% sure he took that opportunity to buy more drugs. It was the reason why we dropped him, since he would beg us for money, along with other junkie friends he had. He wasn't even that nice either, he was kind of rude. I honestly hope he's miserable. Now for the daughter's post. My mom recently made 2 posts about our family under the title, "My ex divorced me and now he wants to be together again after 4 years." I'm their 21-year-old daughter, and I'm going to explain my side of things. There were a lot of things she neglected to say on her part. This is how I interpreted what happened on my side, since y'all are quick to blame. 5 years ago when I was 16, my dad called me. He said he was at his mom's house and that I needed to pack my things so he could pick me up. He told me that my mom had cheated on him and now he was going to divorce her, so I did exactly as I was told. I was really mad at mom for doing such a thing. I thought they were inseparable. I was surprised. I thought they loved each other, and when mom was accused of cheating, I resented her, I yelled at her, I called her really hurtful things that I regret saying, then I left to stay with dad. The entire time I refused to talk to mom during the divorce. I really hated her. I truly did. During the time, I was with dad and my grandma. I met her a couple times and my mom openly hated on her, but I didn't know why. She seemed sweet and supportive, helping my dad get through all this. She bought me presents and let me live under her roof. She was a stereotypical loving grandma. Mom ended up moving out so we can have the place back. In court, I favored my dad's side and it was approved. I refused to contact my mom. It was like she didn't even try to fight to be with me. I was still really angry with her. Dad was crying on some days. He was really stressed and saddened. Mom did too, but I thought it was the guilt of being caught, and now having nowhere to go and being divorced as a consequence. There were a few times where I wanted to call her, shout at her, hate her, but I didn't. For the next 4 years, it was me and Dad and Grandma who occasionally visited. She showered me with gifts, always expressing how she finally got to meet her grandbaby. She spoiled me. Dad was still sad for like 3-ish years before meeting another woman and they started dating. That's when everything turned upside down. Him and Grandma would start getting into fights about the new girlfriend. She would threaten to harm herself and call him a pathetic excuse as a son. She knocked stuff over and constantly broke things when she didn't get what she wanted. She even threatened to hurt me sometimes and steal things away from me. Dad hardly ever brought his girlfriend over because of her. Grandma kept visiting almost daily. She was super obsessed over Dad and the new girl. Now repeat that for 5 months straight until she snapped. Another fight. Then she confessed. I was in the other room when she screamed about how she did everything to get Mom away from him so she could have him all to herself, and now the new girlfriend is stealing him away. That's when I decided to call Mom to tell her what happened. I was scared. The next day we agreed to meet at a restaurant. I told Dad about it afterwards, and he insisted on coming with me. I wasn't sure at first, but he convinced me to let him come. He was desperate and even broke up with his girlfriend over the phone, so I brought him with me. I didn't tell Mom, and when she came and saw us, she was uncomfortable and left after Dad was practically begging on his knees. I ended up calling her an a-hole. I was stressed and overwhelmed, and I blurted out something I didn't mean. I get why she left. There was no excuse for my behavior. I started spam calling her and texting her constantly, trying to get a response from her. Some messages weren't nice as I was not thinking properly. Dad was bawling and started saying some depressing thoughts about how he hated himself and that he wished he was dead. I panicked, like what am I supposed to do? The next morning, Grandma came to the house while Mom was sending me long paragraphs about wanting to have a relationship again, but needing boundaries. The two were arguing downstairs until Grandma admitted to fabricating the affair confession. She paid someone $500 to tell Dad his wife was cheating on her with him. So obviously, I texted Mom about it while Dad kicked Grandma out, screaming that he never wanted to see her again and that it was all her fault. For the next day and a half or so, Mom and I communicated with each other. I apologized to her about my recent behavior. It was super uncalled for, and I do really regret saying those things. At one point, I gave my phone to Dad so the two can talk privately with each other. Mom wants to keep low contact, which I agreed to. Dad was upset that she wouldn't take him back. I learned Mom is seeing a therapist and went to see her earlier today. I haven't seen Grandma after Dad kicked her out. He has been saying she's been trying to call and text him like every hour. Yes, I'm still living with Dad. I'm in community college. It's only half an hour away, so I stay home. I came across Mom's post on TikTok like 3 times. There are some comments about me that I'm really upset about. Do y'all not understand abuse victims? Like WTF. I had to put up with my dad's constant depressing behavior and my grandma's gaslighting, love-bombing tactic. I'm happy to be in contact with my mom. I never contacted her before was because my grandma said negative things about her. I thought Mom was the controlling one. She wasn't. At all. I regret my choices and I'm willing to fix them, and she is willing to give me a chance. You don't know our family. Stop acting like you do.